Thank you for staying with us. We start from stories outside the shores of Nigeria, where a 6.8 magnitude earthquake had struck near one of Tibet's holiest cities today, killing at least 126 people and injuring 188 others, with tremors also shaking buildings and forcing people to run to the streets in neighboring Nepal. According to Regional Disaster Relief Headquarters, the quake jolted Dingri County in Zigais in Tibet Autonomous Region in China at 9:05 a.m. this morning. The U.S. Geological Service, however, put the quake's magnitude at 7.1. At least 126 people have unfortunately been confirmed dead and 188 others injured as of 3 p.m. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered all-out rescue efforts to carry out relief and rescue operations in the affected areas. Xi ordered utmost efforts to treat the injured and urged efforts to prevent secondary disasters, properly resettle affected residents, and handle the aftermath work effectively. Following the quake, China Earthquake Administration launched a Level 2 emergency service response and sent a work team to the site to assist with disaster relief efforts. Zhejiang Autonomous Region also issued a Level 2 emergency response to the quake. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron has insisted his country was right to intervene against Islamist militants in the Sahel region and has accused leaders of the countries concerned of showing insufficient gratitude for France's intervention. In a speech given to French ambassadors at the Elysee Palace in Paris on Monday, Macron said that countries in the Sahel would not still be sovereign nations had French forces not prevented Islamist militants from taking control of their territory, and he accused African leaders of not having the courage to take this view in the face of public opinion. In response, leaders in Chad and Senegal accused Macron of arrogance. Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko issued a statement asserting that France has neither the capacity nor the legitimacy to ensure Africa's security and sovereignty, adding that French leaders must learn to respect the African people and recognize the value of their sacrifices. Meanwhile, Chad's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Abdurrahman Koulamala, issued a statement expressing deep concerns at recent remarks by the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, which reflects a contemptuous attitude towards Africa and Africans. French leaders must learn to respect the African people and recognize the value of the sacrifices, he declared. Meanwhile, the government of Chad, once one of France's most loyal partners in Africa, announced last November that it would be holding defense cooperation with France, which formerly had around 1,000 troops stationed in Chad. French jets and troops started withdrawing 2 weeks after the announcement. However, Chad has expressed a desire to maintain good relations with Koulamala, saying at the time that this is not a break with France like Niger or elsewhere. Niger's former president Mohamed Bazoum, who was a French ally, was deposed by a military junta in July 2023. France has also pulled out of Mali and Burkina Faso following a string of military coups, and the French military is currently in the process of drawing out of Senegal, the Ivory Coast and Chad. Egypt is to hold talks with Somalia next week to discuss Cairo's troop contribution inside a multilateral force battling Islamist insurgents in the Horn of Africa nation. Talks are scheduled for January 15 to 17 in Cairo. And according to Somalia State Minister for Foreign Affairs Ali Balkad, last month Egypt's foreign minister said his country would provide troops to the so-called African Union Support and Stabilization Mission following a request from Somalia. Somalia is also considering reversing a decision to exclude Ethiopian troops from the peacekeeping mission. The shift comes amid thawing tensions between the two neighbors following mediation from Turkey. It's still unclear how big an Ethiopian contingent will be allowed into the country. Ethiopia has been one of the main contributors to the United Nations-backed force that's been fighting Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked militant group, for almost 2 decades. While back home, a tragedy struck at Sani Uthman Islamia School, Kuchibuyi Village, Bwari Local Government Council in Abuja on Monday when an explosive device brought to the school by students detonated, killing 2 and injuring 2 others. According to a Monitor television program, eyewitnesses reported that the device was brought to the school by a student who had arrived from Katsina State a day before the incident. The student who brought the device died instantly, while the second boy succumbed to injuries hours later at the hospital. 2 survivors, a young girl and another boy, are currently receiving treatment. The girl is at Kubwa General Hospital, while the boy has been referred to the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital for further care. The Federal Capital Territory Police have since sealed off the school as investigations continue. The FCT Police spokesperson Josephine Ade, in a statement released on Monday, said the explosives were brought into the school premises by 3 men, contradicting eyewitness accounts. Now, the All Progressives Congress spokesperson Felix Moka has dismissed allegations by Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi that he threatened his life following criticism of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Obi, in his New Year message, claimed he and his family had received threats due to his criticisms of the current administration, asking if he had really crossed the line to warrant such threats. He claimed that the allegation leveled against him by the former governor of Anambra State is a malicious lie and attention-seeking. The APC chieftain further stated, and I quote, Mr. Obi's allegation that Moka threatened his life is a self-evident malicious lie and an attention-seeking, playing the victim emotional blackmail. His claim is patently false and reprehensible. By falsely claiming that Moka threatened his life, Mr. Obi has libeled Moka in the extreme and has incited his online mob to make death threats against Moka and members of his family. We call on Mr. Obi to immediately set the record straight, withdraw his false allegations against Moka, and call his online supporters to order. Moka stands ready to explore all available recourse mechanisms in valiant defense of his decency and impeccable reputation. Still on the world news, at 6, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan today during the inauguration of President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana. VOP News gathered that the inauguration took place at the Black Star Square in Accra, Ghana. At the inauguration ceremony, President Tinubu delivered a keynote address in which he praised Ghana's democratic progress and emphasized the importance of African unity and cooperation. He noted that Ghana has answered the question of whether Africa is capable of democratic and productive endeavors, and that it is time for Africa's critics to stop asking the continent to prove itself. Tinubu also commended Mahama's leadership qualities, describing him as a man deeply committed to the welfare and progress of Ghanaians. He expressed his personal friendship and professional collaboration with Mahama, pledging Nigeria's support. Goodluck Jonathan, as we do know, served as acting president from February 2010 to May 2010, following the illness of President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, and then as president from May 2010 to May 29, 2015. Olusegun Obasanjo, as we do know, served as Nigeria's president twice, first as a military head of state from February 13, 1976 to October 1, 1979, and later as a civilian president from May 29, 1999 to May 29, 2007. Obasanjo has been a vocal critic of the present government, recently expressing concerns over the commencement of operations at local refineries overseen by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited. You're currently listening to the World News at 6 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into a news analysis segment. After, obviously, we'll be speaking with Mr. Elvis Elimehele, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator, who'll be helping us to look into some of the prominent issues read out on the World News at 6. To kindly stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This is still the world news at 6 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I actually have Mr. Elvis joining me via the telephone this evening. Mr. Elvis, good evening and thank you for joining me once again.
Good evening, Esther. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Happy New Year to you once again, although today is the 7th of January 2025.
To you.
All right. Mr. Elvis, before we go into our topical issues, the first one I want us to look into, well, it's actually quite topical, is concerning Emmanuel Macron expressing disappointment that African leaders are ungrateful. In fact, he was quite vehement. He said his country was right to intervene against Islamist militants in the Sahel region. And he accused the leaders of the countries concerned of showing insufficient gratitude for France's intervention. I'm speaking of Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger as well. These are countries that have said they do not want to have any more relationship with France. And Emmanuel Macron has said they are ungrateful. He said if not for them, the Islamist insurgents in the Sahel would have overtaken all that region, overtaking the country. Meanwhile, this West or Central African heads of states have responded. Some have actually said that for the president of Chad, especially Chad and Senegal, they accused Emmanuel Macron of being arrogant. They're saying that France does not have the capacity nor the legitimacy to ensure Africa's security and sovereignty. Chad's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kumala, also issued a statement that the statement made by Emmanuel Macron were deeply concerning and that his attitude could be considered to be contemptuous towards Africa and Africans. What's your take on this?
Esther, Emmanuel Macron is economical with the truth. Over the years, France has military base in some of those countries, Niger, Chad, and Burkina Faso, as well as Mali. And what is the achievement of the military base they have in those countries? Let me give you a little bit analysis of what happened, most of the things that happened in that country. Remember the former president of Chad, Idriss Deby,
yes,
was killed by terrorists. He went into the war front and he got injured. He died of that injury. And meanwhile, France has a military base in that country. Where is the protection of the country and its president and the citizens of that country with the French military base that was there? It was absolutely nothing. We saw what Tuareg, the militant Tuareg, is doing in Mali. Northern Mali has almost been eroded. Hello?
I can hear you, Mr. Elvis. Continue.
Okay. Northern Mali is almost taken over by terrorists. Yet they have military base there. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso as well. So if he's saying some of those African countries are angry, it's even him that the French government didn't do what they expected to have done for this country that they call their colonial enclaves in Africa. They never did what they're supposed to do for them. They exploited them. Remember the exploitation they have across these countries of Africa. They exploited their mineral resources to increase their invest. And now, Esther, since they have asked the French military base to quit now, are they not managing their security? They are managing it themselves now to some level. So I don't think what Emmanuel Macron is saying is right. I think he's finding it difficult, to accept the truth that they have actually lost heart in those countries, especially the exploitative tendencies they have towards those countries since they gave them independence. I think that is where his anger is coming from. He's not speaking the truth. Absolutely, Esther.
Wow. All right. Let's look at the recent situation, the back and forth between the APC government and Peter Obi. Mr. Elvis, I know that it's not my place to put in my own personal opinion, but I'm honestly very disappointed in the reaction of the administration towards Peter Obi's remarks, his New Year press conference that he addressed, Nigerians concerning some certain issues with our polity and our economy, where he also provided some recommendations, which is the function and responsibility of an opposition, either an individual or a political party. Well, Felix Moka, through the APC spokesperson, has responded. The APC spokesperson dismissed the allegations by the Labour Party, by Peter Obi, and by Obidients that they threatened Peter Obi's life. For example, the APC chieftain stated that Obi's allegation that Moka threatened his life is called self-evident malicious lie, and he termed it to be an attention-seeking, playing the victim emotional blackmail, that his claim is patently false and reprehensible. In fact, Felix Moka is calling on Peter Obi to immediately set the record straight, that he should withdraw his false allegation, not Moka apologizing or even trying to make clear the statement he made by saying Peter Obi has crossed the line and that anything he gets is left, he earned it or whatever. He's actually now stating they're doing what you call a reverse psychology, and they're asking Peter Obi to retract his statement, and that his statement is false, and that he should call his online supporters to order. That because, according to them, they're saying that it is Peter Obi that has placed a threat on Felix Moka's life, that Obidients have been making threats on Felix Moka's life. How do you react to this?
I think Felix Moka is turning this matter to like a personal thing. Honestly, Obi reacted to national issues, what Nigerians are facing under APC government. Everything Obi said in that press briefing, it's a fact up. It's what we are facing in this country. Unfortunately, APC don't even allow Nigerians to look into that government in whatever form, whether in advisory role or in criticism or in criticizing some of their policies. They see it like confronting their government. They come out and put up confrontation on whoever that speaks against their government. That's why I'm not so comfortable with somebody who pride himself as the spokesperson of a political party cannot analyze issues as it's supposed to be at least for Nigerians to understand what they have for us. Philip Moka is going beyond the level that we expected of a public relation officer. Obi has not spoken anything against this government. Obi only came to remind the government where the shoe pinches Nigerians, and that the government in this new year should be able to come up with policies that will be beneficial to Nigerians. We saw all this that happened as a result of rights. I knew too well rights was going to cause trouble in that 2024 towards the end of the year, because every issue that happened in this nation, that 2024 to the end of the 2024, where there is flood, federal government will take rights here. Where there is fire incident, they take rights here. Everything that happened, towards 2024 was all about rights. Saying rights becoming an issue when the custom said they want to sell rights to Nigerians and people died. Nobody looked into it. So what happened in towards the end of the year in December, all this campaign that happened in Ibadan, in Anambra and in Abuja, was not new to some of us, because we knew the level of hunger Nigerians were going through. Something of that nature was going to happen.
Mr. Elvis, did you hear Felix Moka? Did you hear Felix Moka's statement when he said Peter Obi has crossed the line and anything he gets, he deserves it? Did you hear that phrase? Was that phrase not viral?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he's taking it personal.
The reason why I'm asking is the fact that the narrative now, according to the APC spokesperson responding for Felix Moka, according to the APC spokesperson, is that Felix Moka did not make any threat to anybody's life, to Peter Obi's life. That Peter Obi is the one actually having a malicious intent, and that he's playing the victim. And that instead Peter Obi should be the one to apologize to him because he did not say exactly the truth, and that he's instigating his online mobs to threaten Felix Moka's life and that of his family. After Peter Obi spoke on how his life and that of his family has been threatened by this current administration. He did not mention anybody's name. He just mentioned the administration since as an opposition. Felix Moka responded on national television, which we all watched, and now they're asking Peter Obi to apologize and say that he's instigating his online mob to threaten his life and that of his family. Felix Moka is acting as a victim here.
Peter, Felix Moka is a joker. We saw that video where he threatened Obi and he called Obi's name. What did Obi do? Because he briefed the press on what Nigerians are going through. I think this is the time Nigerians should raise their voice and talk to this government, because a democratic government is not supposed to be a tyranny in the life of the citizens. Where APC is taking this matter to, they become tyrants that we cannot speak. Nigeria should even be the one that will take on Felix Moka, and the APC government ought to apologize to Nigerians for what Nigerians went through, have been going through since they came into power, especially last year, 2024, that led to the death of Nigerians in this campaign, that even led to the press statement, press briefing to be organized against the Nigerian press. So it is even now that Nigerians should rise up and defend the citizens of this nation. Only Obi cannot be a lone voice in the desert, crying for the inefficiency of this government, the life of Nigerians. I think we have allowed them so much to ride on us. That's why Philip Moka can come back and be accusing Obi on the right of Nigerians, which Obi spoke for. I think it's a shame. I don't expect somebody of this.
Mr. Elvis, Atiku Abubakar, the 2023 People's Democratic Presidential candidate, also the coalition of the United Political Parties, they have stated that the alleged attempt by the federal government, controlled by the APC, to silence the opposition shows that democracy in Nigeria is in peril. In fact, the group stated this while reacting to a claim by Peter Obi that he was being threatened over his New Year message to Nigerians. And of course, obviously, this is coming by the recent statement made by Felix Moka, accusing Peter Obi of crossing the line while warning the Labour Party chieftain of consequences for his actions. So they have actually written that they are alarmed by such threats and that it has no place in a democratic society. In fact, international observers are befuddled at how the administration seems to take comments from their critics, responses from the opposition, the clamp down on criticism, the jail time on anyone who calls out the administration. Mr. Elvis Elimehele, would we say that the current administration knows it all? Are they above criticism? Are they not supposed to welcome criticism? Are they not supposed to welcome challenges? I just need to ask this, Mr. Elvis.
They are afraid of criticism because they know they are not doing the right thing. They have come up with so many laws to guard Nigerians and even guard the press. They have cyber crime now. They have different things. You see anybody that speaks on social media now will be arrested and be prosecuted. But they have forgotten that this was exactly what they used in 2014, 2015 to bully past administration out of government. Unfortunately now, since they came in, everything that worked for them in their favor in 2014, 2015 have become crime in this nation now. So it is even now that we have just begun a new year. Now that we began it, this is the period Nigerians should begin to talk to this government, because we cannot continue in this manner. They don't want Nigerians to speak because they have so much to dish out as a hardship to the Nigerians even in this new year. That's why they are coming out. That's why Philip Moka is starting with this trajectory and this narrative at the beginning of this year now, because they know what they have for this nation, before the end of this year. But they cannot gag us. They cannot tell Nigerians not to speak, because we are in a democratic government. Freedom of speech is one of the characteristics of the democratic government, and it's our right to speak to government when the policies of the government are not in tune with the life of the citizens.
Mr.
So
Elvis,
we have not done anything wrong. Nigerians should also come and even support to be in talking to APC government as we have just done in here now.
Mr. Elvis, do you remember the 10 days of rage in August 2024, from the 1st to the 10th of August 2024, the hashtag End Bad Governance protest? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Mr. Elvis, who were the majority that called for that protest? Can you mention the major demography? And we're not supposed to call out ethnic groups, but the particular group of persons, or the particular group of persons that supported and spearheaded that particular 10 days of rage protest. Can you remember?
The civil society and the northern people even spearhead that protest.
Mr. Elvis, did the Southeast participate in any way? I mean, if you recall, in the Southeast, was there any protest? Did they come out to participate?
No, the Southeast said they were not going to participate because they don't want to be used as scapegoats. So
Okay.
they never participated.
All right. Mr. Elvis, do you know that Felix Smoker accused Peter Obi of trying to incite the mob to cause anarchy and chaos? If you go to his X handle, that they were the ones that actually spearheaded the 10 days of rage protest. Who were the frontliners for that 10 days of rage protest, Mr. Elvis? Who were the frontliners? We saw persons of Omoyele Sowore, we saw other lawyers, Deji Adeyanju.
Yes.
We saw these were the frontliners. Peter Obi said it was the right of individuals to go on the protest. So the question is there a conspiracy to see how Peter Obi could be sent to prison just for any reason to taint his personality,
You know,
or what? Okay, go ahead.
I said something like this yesterday, Esther. This is the time they want to start clamping down on opposition voices. Before the end of the year, you will see what will happen if care is not taken. They will brand them as sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria.
Mr. Elvis, can you recall of a particular cleric that called for the assassination of the First Lady of Nigeria?
Yes.
Has anything happened to that cleric? Has he been called? Has he been imprisoned?
The matter is dead. The matter has not been.
Is that not in a terrorist proclamation that was made at that time?
Yes, absolutely.
Is Peter
Absolutely. Peter Obi has not said anything of that nature now, and they are branding it in different forms.
Is Peter Obi the only political party representative that has criticized the activities of the government or even made tougher statements that would warrant such remarks and reactions from some spokespersons of the APC?
Absolutely. Peter Obi has not said anything that is derogatory to the government of APC and even Felix Smoker. What Peter Obi has only come to speak the mind of every Nigerian on the street and at home. So I don't know why they are taking it in this manner, because if it continues like this, they are calling for another end bad governance protest before the end of this year, and I don't know how they will manage such, because they are not ready to be soft in their policies towards Nigerians, and if the policies are strangulating us, Nigerians will still come to the street. And my fear is that when such happens, now they are going to pick up people like Peter Obi and put them in detention so that we will not have the voice to that will challenge whatever activities they have towards us before the next election. They want to silence opposition. They want to gag opposition. They want to put them in detention so that they will not come out and contest against them in 2027. So these are the things that's why he's analyzing this. Moka is analyzing this matter, and I want to take it to a level where the government will now find an offense out of it and charge Peter Obi on it and say no, he has to be behind bar from that. The way court works in Nigeria now. So, but Nigerians must be able to support whatever Peter Obi is saying now, because what he is saying, everybody cannot go to the press and begin to break the press. He spoke the mind of Nigerians. Everybody should go and listen to that video, listen to that press statement. There is nothing offensive there. He only reminded the government where they failed, which is necessary in every democracy. I don't know why they are taking it to this level, because they have an ulterior motive towards opposition leaders. That's why they are taking it to this level. That's why they are not breaking it in such a way that they will not find crime out of it and now begin to offense out of it and now begin to charge them unnecessarily. We have seen it before in this nation, and we're going to see more of it.
Mr. Elvis, is it possible that all of this is out of the fear of the fact that they did not see the third political party or the Labour Party with such a surge in 2023? Is it possible that could be the reason why all of this mechanism is taking place?
Yeah, it is. It is. You see, if you allow a free and fair election in this nation, as supposed to be extra, APC will not win even a local government. So all these gangsterism are coming from them, to pull down opposition. They want to just use it to instill fear on Nigerians. So that Nigerians
Mr. Elvis, INEC said that the 2023 elections were free and fair. INEC gave a general report on the 2023 elections. And Mahmoud Yakub said that within their best capacity and capability, that the election results was called out authentically. The president authentically won, as obviously superimposed by the Supreme Court, and that the elections were done clear, objectively, and square. So when you say free and fair elections, INEC is countering the statement you made that he actually organized a free and fair election. That's the official report.
INEC cannot be the examiner of the exam they expect. We are supposed to be the one that will score them. Nigerians are supposed to be the one that will score them. They can't set the exam, write the exam, and begin to score themselves. We know too well that INEC behaves so woefully, complete failure in that 2023 general election. See, today they have not been able to prove to us where the glitch came in that we saw, that they told us in the presidential presidential election coalition. They've not told us. We saw that the National Assembly went well, smoothly, but when it got to the presidency, they now said they had the glitch. They've not been able to explain it to us. So anything that has to do with INEC, Nigerians know where how INEC has manipulated the system we are today. INEC is one of the worst agencies that have no integrity in this nation. INEC is one of them.
Mr. Elvis.
Because everything that we have that is plaguing us in this nation today is as a result of bad governance, and it's concocted by INEC. INEC imposed this on us. That's where we are today.
Mr. Elvis, you
begin to defend themselves.
You realize that on January 4, Boko Haram launched a deadly assault on a Nigerian army base in Borno State. They left numerous soldiers dead and others missing. Have you heard any official response from the presidency, from the chief of defense staff, or from the APC commiserating with the death and loss of lives of these soldiers, or that they're making any internal investigations, or how the base did not see the upcoming attack from these insurgents? Have you heard anything about that within the administration in the past 3 days this unfortunate incident occurred?
No, none of them have reacted to it. We already saw this thing on news channels. We already raised it on news channels. The federal government has not even reacted
to it. So
is
that not something worth reacting and responding to and strategically looking at how to clear out? Rather they're focusing on Peter Obi, what he said, what he did not say, and making all sorts of threats. Is that a priority of the spokespersons of this administration? Is that what they're supposed to focus on when there are prominent critical issues that affects the lives of Nigerians that they are meant to respond and react to?
Yes, I was even expecting that APC should even look inward and begin to even find a way to even pay condolence visit or even make a press statement on the number of Nigerian soldiers that are being wasted in the war front, in Northeast. They try to cover such things. So they are not using this to be matter now to cover those ones so that we will not even remember to react to such things. On Nigerian soldiers, we know the number of Nigerian soldiers that are dying on daily basis in the war front. It is even supposed to be part of the things that they are supposed to even find solutions to, so that the credibility they want to seek at all costs will begin to come in, not using bullying methods to wanting to look for credibility where there is no credibility.
Mr. Elvis, do you realize that in the military base, this attack by ISWAP and Boko Haram took 2 hours? For 2 hours, varieties of weapons were shot at the soldiers in that base for 2 hours, consecutively 2 hours. Do you understand the psychological mindset of those soldiers in that 2 hours where no help could come? Nobody could be deployed to help or assist. And the administration is not focusing on that. No reaction whatsoever. Rather, it's all about political talk and tribal sentiment. So what does that say about the priority of the administration cabinet members or the spokespersons?
It's very shameful that security, that is one of the major cardinal in the constitution, that is supposed to be one of the major cardinal. The government owns the people. This government has failed in it. You know, there was this sack of a military base too before Christmas in December, early part of December. So many soldiers were wasted here before this one that happened in this January now. Just within a space of 1 month now, we have had two raiding of a military base by the insurgents. Those ones are not even an issue before the ruling party. They don't see that as an issue. That they have even failed in securing the life of Nigerians. They don't see it as an issue. But it is the statement that is made by Peter Obi, statement that is so positive in the life of Nigerians that they are festering, they are taking to another level because they want to concoct a crime on it, bring out something on it, and use it to incarcerate me. That's what they want to do. They have a reason for this. I expected the president to have even find a way to even visit the military men in war front during this Yuletide, to boost their morale. There was nothing like that. It was in Lagos here, first 15. It was 15 in Lagos, and Lagos was turned to Mecca. All the politicians started visiting him. In this Yuletide period, these are family men. The military men are family men. They have wives and children. You visit them in their front line to boost their morale. Don't do it. Why don't you them as okay? This is also an opportunity for us to go and show support to Nigerian military that are protecting us. None of them did. Instead, all of them were in Lagos. They are coming from Lagos to Mecca to come and see the face of the president. But when somebody now makes statement regarding their failure, regarding their inefficiency, that's when you now know that they have a spokesperson who can begin to defend the indefensible. It's just a shame. We can't continue like this, but I thank God that we still have this kind of medium to talk, and we'll continue to talk. If we can talk to the military that led to this democracy, why can't we talk to the democratic government for us to be liberated out of what we are going through? We'll get out of it, Esther.
Mr. Elvis Salim-Hele, thank you so much, actually, for giving us your time and providing insights into some of the questions that was posed at you. We sincerely do appreciate your input.
Thank you, Esther. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.
You too, and Happy New Year to you once again.
Thank you.
All right, to wrap up the world news at 6, here again are the top stories. Strong earthquakes kills at least 126, 188 injured in southern Tibet. Emmanuel Macron calls West African leaders ungrateful for not recognizing fight against Islamist terrorists. Egypt to commence talks on sending peacekeeping troops to Somalia. Abuja explosion, eyewitness gives account. Felix Smoker dismisses threat on Peter Obi's life. President Tinubu meets former Presidents Obasanjo and Jonathan in Ghana. That's a wrap on the world news at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good evening. Thank you for listening. Once again, Happy New Year to you. Just stay tuned for more interesting programming.